Silence isn't weakness, it isn't surrender, it's not avoidance, and it certainly isn't fear. When truly understood and used with intention, silence becomes one of the most powerful responses a human being can offer. Most people live trapped in noise, trapped in reaction, trapped in a constant need to explain, defend, argue, or prove. But the Stoic chooses stillness. He understands that the moment you start explaining yourself to someone who's already decided not to understand you, you've already lost. True strength doesn't come from speaking. It comes from restraint, a man who can remain calm when insulted, composed when provoked, unmoved when misunderstood. That man holds power without raising his voice, because he's mastered the one thing most people never will, himself. You don't need to react to everything. You don't need to prove you're right. You don't need to convince anyone of your value. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You are certainly not here to make your inner world legible to those who haven't earned access to it. Let them talk. Let them project. Let them assume. Silence is your advantage. Most people are enslaved by their impulses. A single word, a subtle insult, a passive remark, and they unravel. They explode. They chase validation like a dog chasing passing cars. And in doing so, they reveal something deeper. They are owned by the opinions of others. But silence is power held back. It whispers, "Teen, I see you, but you do not move me." In a world screaming for attention, silence is what terrifies the insecure. Because silence reveals. It forces people to sit with themselves. It compels reflection, doubt, second-guessing. It creates space where truth can echo. And in that space, the weak grow louder. The strong grow stiller. Most people will never grasp this because they've been trained to speak, to defend, to explain. But words are like currency. The more you spend them where they're not needed, the less they're worth. There's a reason Marcus Aurelius said, "And the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." When someone disrespects you, silence says, "You're not worth my energy." When someone tries to manipulate you, silence says, "See it, and I owe you nothing." When someone leaves, betrays, or misunderstands you, silence responds, "And I don't chase, I don't plead, I don't beg." It's not about ignoring others, it's about mastering yourself. It's about building enough internal discipline that you no longer crave the last word, because in your mind, you've already won. Every time you respond emotionally to someone trying to provoke you, you hand them the wheel. Every time you rush to explain yourself, you surrender ownership of your own truth. Every time you break your boundaries just to keep the peace with someone else, you lose peace with yourself. And no relationship is worth that trade. Silence isn't cold, it's clarity. It draws the line and says, "See, I don't need to fight to protect my peace. I walk away to preserve it." You see, most people speak to be heard, but the Stoic speaks only to strengthen peace or defend virtue when it truly matters. Everything else, noise. If someone disrespects you, don't react. Observe. Let them reveal themselves through their own words. Don't interrupt. Don't defend. Let silence do the work. Let it echo louder than any response ever could. And if they expect a reaction, give them none. If they want control, offer them emptiness. If they want drama, respond with indifference, because the one who cannot be provoked cannot be owned. And that's the core of Stoicism, freedom through inner control. Not reacting isn't weakness, it's maturity, it's power. Holding your tongue when every nerve in your body wants to fire back, that is strength. The strongest man in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who feels everything and shows nothing. The one who doesn't flinch when tested, who doesn't explain when doubted, who doesn't chase when walked away from. He stays still, he stays focused, because he knows something others don't. Not every battle deserves your presence. Not every insult warrants a rebuttal. Not every invitation to chaos needs your attendance. Silence becomes the filter that keeps your peace intact, and slowly, it transforms you. You stop explaining yourself to those who don't matter. You stop wasting energy on draining conversations. You start attracting those who honor boundaries, and you begin building something far greater than validation, self-possession. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius meant when he reminded himself each day, "And you have power over your mind, not external events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You don't need the world to validate your silence. What you need is to understand that your silence protects your world. So the next time someone tests you, pause, feel the heat rise, notice the pull to respond, then take a breath and choose the higher path. Because in a world addicted to noise, the loudest move you can make is to say nothing and simply keep walking. You win the moment you no longer need to prove that you've already won. And the world, it will watch in silence. That's how the Stoic wins, not by shouting, not by chasing, not by explaining, but by mastering stillness. Because once you learn how to say nothing, you're saying everything. In the end, you don't win through argument. You don't win through explanation. You win by becoming untouchable. You win when your peace becomes non-negotiable. When your mind no longer flinches. When your silence speaks louder than their noise ever could. The world is loud. People speak just to be heard. But the Stoic speaks only when it means something. And sometimes, the most powerful message is no message at all. You don't have to announce your evolution. You don't have to prove your strength. Those who matter, they'll feel it. They'll sense it in your restraint, your stillness, your refusal to step out of character. So hold the line, say less, observe more. Act only with intent, only with purpose. Because in this noisy, distracted world, the rarest kind of man is the one who doesn't need to speak to command the room. He just exists, anchored, clear, and unshakable. That is Stoic power, and that is who you are now becoming.